Okay, and I am back for today's episode, which is going to include talking about childhood memories. How does this relate to sexuality? I don't know, but not every episode is really going to be specifically about that. I wanted to do this podcast just because honestly I love talking and I guess hearing myself talk. So here we are. I'm doing a video podcast episode. I don't know why. I'm going to play around with it and see how I like it. I like listening to podcasts and I don't always think or feel like I need to see video, but I also enjoy watching people talk sometimes. So maybe this will be a little more conversational for us to like sit and chat. So before I get into the stories that I am going to tell today and why, I'm going to do a little check-in. How are we feeling? How are you feeling? How are you feeling? I'm feeling excited to do this episode. I'm in a good space, like physically, and I think mentally. And I'm pretty sure after this episode, I'm going to go buy some clothes from Yiddy at Fabletics here. Because honestly, I haven't spent money on myself or bought anything new in a while. And while I'm very happy and proud about that, I don't know, I just feel like going to buy some Yiddy clothes and like try them out. I'm not really sure how I'll feel about them because I've never worn shapewear before. But it's for Lizzo, really. So I'm going to go try it out. Hopefully I can like find something that fits. And yeah. Anyways, that's what I'm doing after I record this episode. Which, if you didn't notice, this episode is out on a Thursday. So that means I am shifting the podcast releases to Thursdays because I get the evenings free once a week because my boyfriend goes into work once a week. And so on those evenings, that means that he's not in the house, which means I have a little bit more time, like more to myself versus when we're both working at home. And after work, we'll just like hang out with each other and he'll want to hang out or do something or just kind of lay around and be on the couch together. So that is why this is out on a Thursday, because I'm going to try to use Wednesdays to record when he's gone. And yeah, anyways, I'm rambling. For those of you who don't know, I have ADHD. And while it's not super intense, I like to think. I'm trying to hide the microphone out of camera view. We're figuring it out, y'all. While it's not super intense ADHD, I get distracted very easily. So I'm sorry if you just heard all that moving around. I'm just getting finished getting settled. Anyways, lots of exciting stories. I think they're exciting. Honestly, not really. Like, these are about mostly from middle school. So, here's the episode for today. I want to just tell some stories from my childhood. I don't know why. These are stories and memories that live rent-free in my head that for some reason I think are worth sharing. Oh, look at that. It's so much more clear because I took off the plastic stuff, I think. Actually, not really. here. So I wanted to tell some stories from my childhood, mostly from middle school, a couple from elementary. I don't know why, but these are stories that I think are funny now that I'm older, but definitely like core memories impacted me greatly, probably impact how I view myself and my own identity, which definitely plays into our sexuality. But mostly, I feel like if I had heard these stories when I was younger, it would have given me hope and reassurance that being a kid is hard and people are mean. Like, why are we so mean? Why? I don't think I was that mean in grade school. So, like, why are people mean in grade school? I don't know. In grade school, what were you like? Because I was quiet. I had friends. Here's the thing. For me, it seemed like every school year I had a new best friend. Or every couple years I had a new best friend. In middle school, I made a friend and then she became my best friend. And then we kind of just went separate ways in high school because she started smoking weed and I didn't smoke weed then. And, that's fine. That's how it goes. I was really sad that that friendship ended. I think that's why it ended. That was my experience, was that I remember her asking me if I would ever smoke weed, and I was like, no, that's illegal. I would never do that. And looking back, I feel like that was her trying to kind of like gauge, if that's something we could do together. And at the time, that's not something we did together. Anyways, I digress. I feel like if I had heard these stories when I was younger, it would be reassuring that being a child is rough. It's very anxiety inducing, and that like in 10 years, I'll be laughing about them thinking they're the funniest things ever. But, back then they were embarrassing, nerve-wracking, confusing. I'm sure you have your own memories from childhood, and I'm not trying to make you remember any. This is me sharing mine to laugh about them for any young people that might be listening or any young people in your life. If you feel so called to share one of the stories with them, to let them know, like, whatever you're going through as a child or a teen or a preteen or a teenager, I just said that. It doesn't matter. None of it matters after you leave high school, I swear. Like, all of the drama that people try to start, or all of the insecurities and all of the things that were whispered, like, everyone's in their own head. Everyone's living their own life. We are simply just moments passing by in their life. So their experience as well is so different than how we experience things. Like, none of that mattered. I'm living my own life. Everyone else in my life is a character. Like, it just doesn't matter. All of that stuff doesn't matter. Not to diss any experiences, right? Like, I clearly am still remembering plenty of memories. And I think I play them back in my head so much because it baffles me, one. And two, I'm super trying to figure out all the moments in my childhood that had a huge impact on me and how they show up in my life today. And how they impacted relationships that I have with family members or friends now, or romantic relationships, or even just my ideas and beliefs about things in life. So, without further ado, let's get into these childhood memories that we're going to take a journey down memory lane. Okay, so the first story that I'm going to talk about, the first story I'm going to tell from my childhood is from elementary. Elementary, I'm not sure what grade, something in elementary. Basically, I was at a sleepover at a friend's house, and she lived in the neighborhood. And I think I got invited because the whole class got invited, but we were also friends, except I wasn't really friends with her other friends. So I was friends with her, but I was not really friends with her other friends. There's like a whole group of them, and I kind of hung out with them, but at some point I was just didn't. So, anyways, we're at the sleepover, and um, it becomes nighttime, and I remember they started telling scary stories, and I don't like scary stories, so I decided I was going to go to sleep. I think someone else was going to sleep, so I was like, okay, these other people are going to sleep, so I'm going to go to sleep too. And I get my little sleeping bag, and I remember laying on the floor, and then all of a sudden, as I'm sleeping, and I was like in a deep sleep, I remember like hearing this really loud noise, and it kind of startled me because I was like, whoa. Um, I was like very foggy, and I was like waking up, and I was like, oh, it's just like the noise outside or thunder or something. Okay. And so then I like fall back asleep. And in the morning, I wake up to all of the girls whispering and snickering and talking about something, and then I'm like, what's going on? And I kind of start listening into what they're saying around me, and I hear one of them whisper, Amanda farted so loud last night. And I'm laughing now, but when I tell you I was drop dead embarrassed, I mean, you have to understand. Like, you have to know. I shouldn't even have to explain, like, how embarrassing that is as, like, a 10 or 12-year-old. If you've had anything remotely embarrassing happening. And so I remember hearing that, and I was like, oh, my God. And honestly, I don't remember the feeling. I just remember, like, the next thing was that one of the girls asked me, Amanda, do you know what happened last night? And I was like, I look her dead in the eyes, and I'm like, yeah, I do. And then they like got quiet. And honestly, I'm so proud of myself that I knew how to like navigate that kind of stuff, because I feel like I avoided like really straight up being made fun of and being like, you farted so loud. So yes, the loud noise I heard the night before, that night that I thought was a thunder or something in the dreariness of my sleep, was a loud fart. And I'm just like, I think after that moment, I think I got really bad anxiety because I remember everyone was outside and I was just like really embarrassed. And I remember walking outside, and then very quickly I ran inside to the bathroom and threw up in the toilet. Like, if that's not my first sign of anxiety, yo, I don't know what is. So, I throw up in my friend's bathroom, and what happens? I go out, I tell my friend's mom, I tell her mom, I just threw up, and then she's like, oh no. She's like, oh no, okay, well, I can take you home. So she takes me home, and then I'm like really moody all day, right? Because um, I just farted in front of a bunch of girls at school, and a bunch of girls that I thought were really like too cool for me and were like popular crowd. But even though I was like friends with one of them, and so I'm like really moody, of course, and I just like probably had a really bad experience with anxiety. because of the puking. Like, I'm pretty sure I wasn't sick. I don't remember being sick after that, but then I was moody, and for the rest of the evening, my mom was like, Amanda, what's wrong? Why are you so moody? And like kept asking me over and over what was wrong. And she was like, what happened at the party? And I was like, nothing. And nothing happened. Of course, I didn't want to tell her. Already embarrassed. And then my mom like grabs one of the house phones and she's like, if you don't tell me, I'm going to call and ask what happened. And so then I told my mom and I said, okay, fine. I farted last night and then they all laughed at me this morning. And then my mom reacted with, what? That's it? That's all you're embarrassed about? That's not embarrassing. Just get over it or something like that. And, that stuck with me. In a moment where maybe as a child, needed some consolation or was hoping that my mother would soothe my embarrassment, I didn't really feel like that in that moment. But that's a conversation for a whole other time. Anyways, that's the story about farting in front of a bunch of friends. And I feel like that is also the reason why for a lot of my life I've always had like nerves, or at least after that happened, going back to school, I was so nervous to go back to school because I thought they'd like make jokes or laugh or like tell a bunch of people what happened, but they didn't. I don't remember anyone saying anything to me. And talking about this now, I'm wondering if that's when like I kind of just like faded away from being friends with this one friend. Also, they all played a sport together and I didn't play a sport. Like, y'all, growing up as a young Latina where I grew up, I'm realizing more and more as I get older had an impact on me for sure. Like, I was definitely, I think at such a young age, I definitely knew that something was different and I felt different and a little off. And I know that that was probably in my body of knowing, like, I look different, I come from a different background. My friends would always say that it was fun coming over to my house because my family was like so loud and like different and mostly loud and fun, right? Because like we're a loud Mexican family, so we're just loud and yell, and it's a very different dynamic than when I'd go to my friends' houses where it was like super quiet and nobody was really in the house and the parents were just kind of like, I don't know. I don't even remember seeing the parents around when I would go over to my friend's house. Like, around as in, like, I guess they were just, like, in their rooms or something. I don't know. Anyways, so I think that is probably why after that experience, I remember being really nervous walking into class the next day. And I really do think that's maybe why, I fell away from being friends with them. And probably just, that's what happens in life. So there's childhood story number 1 for anyone out there that has insecurities or fears of being heard farting. Just know that 15 girls heard me fart in 3rd grade and I'm still alive and okay, and everyone does it. I don't even know if they remember that happening. It may be me that only remembers that, of course, because I was the one that got embarrassed. So, story number 2. Also moral story, or just, drama in middle school. Can we talk about that? Drama in middle school and high school. I don't know. I was never someone who really cared to get involved in any sort of drama in any grade. So let's talk drama in middle school and high school. because I did not play around with that. I just have no time for drama whatsoever. Drama, drama, drama. Like, why? What is the thought? What are the log? I just have never been one to be part of drama. Like, oh my God, he said, she said this, she did that, he did that, they're doing this, da da da. Like, I remember hearing things and people telling me stuff, but I hardly ever would like get involved or spread it around. Now, don't get me wrong, I love a good tea session. But especially nowadays, I never judge. Never, never judge. Like, it's pure entertainment. And I know that's maybe different opinions, but like, I was never someone like trash talking anyone or I don't know, just drama. Were you involved with drama? Because I never was. I just don't get it. I didn't get it. So, in middle school, like, this is a situation where I my friends are trying to start something, I guess. I don't know. And I totally shut it down. So in middle school, I think this was in sixth grade, I had two friends, and basically one day I go to my locker and I unlock it. And you remember you used to put notes in the locker, you slide the little paper in the crack, and that's how, like, we would ask people out or say, I like you. So I had a note in my locker one day, and I remember it said something like, Amanda, I have a huge crush on you. I think you're beautiful, something like that. And I remember the handwriting looked like the, like, air quote, like, basic girl handwriting. It looked very familiar handwriting. And there was also a word spelled wrong that was like a word that I was like, okay, someone spelled this wrong. Like, they couldn't even spell something right. But like, it was a word, I think maybe like, I don't know. Yeah, I judged the letter hard because I was like, this seems sus. Like, that was probably one of the first times my intuition was making itself known to me. So I didn't really think much of the note because I was like, first off, if I've been getting notes from someone, I already know who they are, and I've been having exchange just in my locker of notes. And so this new one, I was like, I don't know, this looks like it was written by a girl, or like, and it was spelled wrong. Like, it's just not very convincing. So I kind of hold the note around and I didn't tell anyone. Because I don't know. I don't remember. This was forever ago. Maybe my approach was like not really going to respond because there was no locker number put on it. And I feel like when we used to do that, we'd be like, okay, drop it in my locker and locker number, whatever. So in art class, that day that I got the note, I had the note, and I had art class with some friends, and we're sitting at the table, and then one of my friends goes, Amanda, did you get anything in your locker today? And I was like, yeah. And she said, what was it? And I said, a note. And they asked what it said, and I said, nothing really. I know it was written by you because it was like there was a word spelled wrong and I could tell it was your handwriting. And they were just like, shut down. I was like, yo, I'm sorry. I'm just not falling for that. And I'm also not going to get mad because I knew much ahead already that it probably wasn't anyone and that it was maybe a joke. And then I was like, I don't want to be your friends anymore because why are you doing this as a prank? Why are you doing this to me? Like, what? I thought we were friends. So they didn't have anything to say because I ruined their prank or whatever. And I don't start drama, so I wasn't going to be like, oh my God, that's so mean. How could you do that? Yeah, so I'm just like remembering that moment where I was just like shutting it down, and it's like, I'm sorry, I just like don't understand how you could do that to a friend. And then I ended up not really being friends with those people either. So I'm just dropped friends very quickly. Mostly because I was like, I don't understand why you're being mean or like trying to do this. Also, I'm not stupid. Not to say that someone who would believe that is stupid, but like, it's just like, why? What if it was someone who like actually thought that was from someone and then they got their feelings hurt? That's so mean. Like, that is classic movie scene of like pretending that someone has a crush on you. Maybe they were upset that nobody had like asked them out, because in sixth grade I got asked out a lot. Just a slight flex. I just don't understand why we're so mean. I was just trying to survive. I was just trying to live. And why y'all gotta put fake note in my locker? But you know what? It's okay, because I shut it down and I felt really good every time I'd be like, yeah, I knew it was you. And it wasn't funny. And I didn't think it was anyone. I knew it was fake. Oh my goodness. Another time someone tried to wrangle me into some drama. I remembered this recently. In high school, I was a stage manager. And long story short, I was in the bathroom and someone else was in the bathroom talking to me while I was going pee. You know how it goes. And there was something going on with someone in our show. Like, I don't know, there was like some gossip or drama. Everyone was complaining about one person and they were like, oh my god, they're so annoying, da da da. And as a stage manager and just in general as a person in high school too, I was like, I really don't know these people. I'm not going to say anything, especially as a stage manager. To be professional, like, I'm not going to gossip or talk about anyone. I also barely knew these people yet. I had just entered like the theater program. But in the bathroom or dressing room, whatever, I remember a person talking to me and they were like, isn't that person like really annoying? Like, don't you just hate them and wish like they didn't go to school here? And like, are they like doing the most annoying stuff? And like, didn't they do like a horrible thing? And they were like asking me direct questions to answer. And I think hoping that I would join the conversation and talking shit about this person. And I was like, straight up, just looked at them and I was like, no, I don't really know them, so I don't have anything to say. Like, they're nice to me, so I don't know. I barely said anything. I think I was actually just like, I don't really know them and I don't have anything to say, so I don't, that's it. Like, I just don't have anything to say. I'm not gonna trash talk them. And this person looked so disappointed when I told them I was not gonna participate in their trash talk. I just don't understand. Like, first off, why? Like, why choose me? Why do you think you're gonna talk to me and trash talk people with me? Also, I have no place to judge, and I really didn't know these people, so like, how am I gonna, I don't know. I had no opinions. I was like, I'm being nice to everyone because I need them to respect me, and also, like, I don't know them. I don't know their stories. I don't know what they're doing. I don't know who they are. It's none of my business. I never got involved with any of the drama in theater, for sure. Like, mostly. I don't think I really did. Do I like to listen to it? Yes. Do I speculate in my mind? Yeah. Do I give my opinion sometimes to people that I trust very closely? Yeah. I'm not saying I'm perfect at all. Absolutely not. But these moments where people would try to wrangle me into some big web of drama, I'm just like, nah, I'm good. Like, why? ¿Para qué? ¿Por qué? No quiero. Anyways, drama. Why? I don't know. You know, and I think that also made me question, like, is something wrong with me because I don't have friends that I'm, like, having drama with? But no, nothing was wrong with me. Anyways, were you involved in any drama? Did you like drama? Do you still like drama? And also, now, what's the difference between, like, drama and the tea? Because I love the tea. I love to hear it. A lot of times, tea to me, I also just take as, like, entertainment. Like, if I was reading a book, like, I'll have opinions and thoughts, but end of day, I'm not gonna end of day, I'm going to sleep and I'm not thinking about that. And I'm not talking about it with someone or judging. I let it go because first of all, that's not my life, that's not my place, and that's not my job. It's your life, boo-boo, and I will never judge you. I will never wrangle you into drama. I ain't about it. I'm out here trying to heal my own wounds and own shit, so okay. Speaking of which, healing my own wounds and sadness. In kindergarten, okay, this is another story that I don't know why I remember it so much. But this is a point, this is an example of how soon, of how early we as little human beings, children, are thinking about romance, relationships, and sexuality, okay? Let me remind you, because maybe you have a memory like this as well. I remember this moment in kindergarten. And remember that crushes, feelings, imagination, all of that is related to our sexuality, and it starts very young. Okay? Here's some examples. In kindergarten, I remember in kindergarten, there was a boy. His name was Cody. Where are you at, Cody? What you doing? Just kidding. I'm pretty sure his name was Cody. I had a crush on him. And one day in kindergarten, I don't even know if I knew what a crush was. I just knew I liked him. I wanted him to talk to me. And I guess I had seen movies that kind of put, or something in media or messaging that had put in this thought that he could come talk to me or something, because here's what I did. We had to go take a paper up to our teacher's desk in kindergarten class. So I take my paper up, and we were getting called up table by group. So my plan was, okay, my group is getting called, and then his group is going to get called after me. So after I get called up, I'm going to come back, sit down at my desk, and put my head down to pretend that I'm looking sad, so that maybe then he'll come over and ask me if I'm okay, and then he'll talk to me, and that just shows that he cares about me and he likes me, right? This is in kindergarten. In kindergarten, I was trying to flirt, finesse, manipulate a little boy to come ask if I was okay because I thought he was cute. In kindergarten, this is happening. And this is why we need to start talking about healthy relationships and even just feelings and what may show up. I did that. I pretended that I was sad. I put my head down oh my God, I'm so sad. And he walked right by me. Of course he did. Because it probably just looked like I was tired. Oh my goodness. That's the memory that I have of that in that class. Nothing ever happened. There was no happy ending at all. We actually ended up moving. But that day, Cody walked right past me, and I knew it was probably over forever, which it was. Can we sit on that and the fact that that was kindergarten when I was trying to get a boy's attention? And why? Where does this come from? I'm guessing from shows where I saw girls having crushes or literally whatever messaging, just questioning that. Where did I get this idea from? Because we're not inherently thinking, oh my God, I have feelings and I have a crush and I want him to like me. Are we? I don't, no. We're not inherently sexual. We learn all of these things. Another time when sexuality made its appearance in my life. And when I say sexuality, I don't mean who I had crushes on, what gender or genital person that I was having a crush on. Sexuality is all around us our whole life, everything around us, even just like the idea and thoughts, interaction and words and media. So there's this other story that I use or tell often, which is in third grade. There was this guy who, a male classmate, also pause. There were so many boys in elementary school who had crushes on me, and I literally did not know anything about any of this, like, oh, he likes you, oh, they have a crush on this person. Like, I was so ignorant to all of that. And there were multiple boys who had crushes on me, or like my friends would tell me, oh, he has a crush on you, oh my god, he was swinging with you, and I'd be like, okay, I don't really know what that means. I didn't really have feelings like that for any of them. I was very confused. No one had ever talked to me about like a crush or butterfly feelings. I didn't know anything. So here I am, little innocent me in third grade, and one day I'm just like hanging at my desk, and a group of people and maybe one of my friends are hanging out at like another part of the classroom because there's like indoor recess, I think. And this guy that people had been telling me he has a crush on me for a while, which also, like, all of this always made me very uncomfortable when they would say, oh my god, he has a crush on you, like, he's swinging with you, we all know that he likes you. And I'd be like, okay, I don't understand what that means. Like, if anything, it made me feel really uncomfortable because I was very unaware and not knowing what any of this meant. So here I am, little, like, awkward, uncomfortable me, sitting at my desk, and then all of a sudden my friend comes over because there's, like, a lot of ruckus going on in the group that she was with. And my friend comes over and she's like, don't worry, Amanda, like, you're going to be getting something soon. And, like, LOL, like, she laughed. And I was like, I don't know what's going on. And then all of a sudden someone gives me a note that is from this guy. And it says, Dear Amanda, I want to get naked with you and get naked in the shower and take a shower with you. Okay. What? As a third grader? Excuse me? I didn't even know that people got naked together. That's how much I didn't know. And in third grade, someone is telling me they want to get naked in the shower with me. That was so uncomfortable and caught me off guard. And I literally had no idea how to react or what to do. I think I just sat there with like a blank face and just like left it on the desk and kind of was just like, okay. I remember my body feeling like, what the heck, like violated. It felt violating because the word naked and with me and in a shower. First off, I didn't know people got naked together. I didn't know anyone would, like, naked was really like a thing that others were aware of or anything. And let alone I didn't know that people took showers together in freaking third grade. What am I supposed to do with this? What did I do with this? I did nothing with it. I went home and pretend like everything was okay. I'm feeling violated for the rest of my life in that sense. My body holding on to that. And again, never did I hear anything about nakedness, being naked together, someone telling you that, someone having a crush on you, someone wanting to do things with you, not even that being labeled as something intimate or private. Never any conversation about that. Barely in fifth grade, but in fifth grade that was literally talking about our periods. The first memory I have of sex education was in high school. So anything I learned from others or the internet. But in that moment in third grade, I didn't know anything. I was very uncomfortable. I didn't have anyone to go to because I didn't even know what was happening. And this is why we need comprehensive sex education. Because it's happening to us. It's happened to us. And it's happening to young people. And they're not telling you. They're not telling us. Because it's fucking embarrassing. And it's so confusing and awkward. Ask your kids. Make safer space for them to tell you things. If they don't want to talk about it, come up with another way for them to tell you, like a box that they can put a note in and say, hey, this happened, I'm not sure, can you answer it? But tell the whole family together at once. Make it anonymous. Do maybe they're more comfortable one-on-one, so do one-on-ones like once a month where you check in, or like hire a sex educator who practices educating young people in age appropriate ways, because that stuck with me, and that stuck with me my whole body and my whole life. And it made me more anxious at school than I already was, because I already had that awkward, anxious experience at my friend's sleepover, and now I have this experience knowing every day that at school a boy wants to do this to me, and what does that mean, and is he going to try to do something at school? Nervous and unnerving to be there and not even sure like if I should be concerned. I don't know what to think when that happens. That's why this is all important. That's also why I'm sharing this. I guess this podcast episode did lead to sex education and sexuality. Anyways, I think I'm going to leave it there, because that memory just gets me every time. And I've actually written that story about the note in 3rd grade on my Facebook, and I'm friends with some of my teachers from elementary and middle school and high school. And when I shared that story, the teacher that was that teacher, I'm Facebook friends with the teacher, my 3rd grade teacher. That's like so wild to me. But she saw that and she messaged me and she apologized, and she was like, she said, I'm sorry. There were definitely some difficult kids in that class, and I think I know who it was who needed like some extra attention, and I'm really sorry that happened. And then I've had other people who like saw the Facebook posts of me writing about that tell me like, he didn't know. And it's like, yeah, great. But look, there are kids getting very uncomfortable and feeling violated and not knowing why. So I don't really want an apology or want to hear like that kind of talk like, oh, he didn't know better. Like, he could have known better. We could know better as adults. We could make safer spaces. We could be teaching these kids. And like, I'm not sharing these stories for like sympathy or apologies. I want people to wake up and realize we need sex education, because we don't know anything. You don't know anything. Tell me, what is sex? Because your answer is very different from anyone else that has ever told me their definition of sex. There's no communication. There's no education. I just want people to wake up and realize why we need it. We need it. Think of all your experiences where you wish you had known something, or known someone who you felt comfortable talking to about these things. Why is it so uncomfortable for you to talk about it with kids? Why is it so uncomfortable for you to even talk about it as an adult? Why is it so uncomfortable for you to, or difficult for you to be okay with kids learning basic relationship understanding, basic understanding about boundaries and respect and feelings? So maybe I am holding some grudges and angst and anger about that experience, because I don't really feel very seen or witnessed. Because every time I've told it, people give me something like, oh, I'm sorry that happened. I'm like, he didn't know any better. Like, I think I know who it was. And those kids, were difficult. Like, I fully appreciate some of you reaching out, but also like, do better. What are you doing now in your career to try and make sure this doesn't happen to someone else? Because I can guarantee you I was not the only one, and I am not the last one. This is why it's important. And it's not just that we want to educate kids. I want to educate adults, so adults can educate kids. So it's a collective, cohesive process. Because maybe if I had learned back then what happened and what I experienced with that note and being told that someone wanted to be naked with me, and that was not okay and that was inappropriate and unsolicited, and that I don't just have to sit there and accept what was literally handed to me, then maybe I would have had more confidence to speak up in middle school when the boys whose locker was next to mine slapped my butt every day that I was at my locker, and I just giggled and laughed along because I was too scared and literally had no idea that I could go tell an adult. And if I did think that, I also was like, what are they going to do? Because I've never seen anything happen showing that I could go to them and tell them, hey, these guys are slapping my butt. And even when I tell them to stop grabbing and slapping my butt, they still do it. And I just instead accepted it and tried to be at my locker whenever he wasn't there. And I would get really mad and annoyed. And my body remembers that. And that's why I don't really like my butt getting slapped. Because of that memory of being slapped on my butt and my butt being grabbed by a boy whenever he wanted and not listening to me when I would tell him to stop. And I never got help because I didn't think anyone in the school would do anything. And when I had friends, I would go to counselors for help with sexual things and negative and bad experiences they had and complain. Nothing was done. And I'm not saying this is just schools and teachers. This is all of us. This is all our responsibility. So if you're an adult and you want to make a better world for the future generations, reach out to me. I will be happy to come do a sex talk so you can feel more confident and aware and understanding and educated on how to talk with kids and young people and other adults and yourself. It starts with yourself. Educate yourself. And you could help a middle school girl, not even a girl, a middle school child who's feeling violated, and help break that cycle. Anyways, I got heated. I'm just gonna close my eyes for a moment and imagine I'm giving younger me a great big hug because I'm out here getting justice and defending and loving and serving her and always letting her know that what she experienced is not okay, and now we know better and we are going to do better for the future and for any descendants that I bring into this world, and anyone that needs help or comes to me, I will help break the cycle and make sure that they feel safe and educated. So I hope this episode was entertaining. I hope you got fired up with me. I hope you come back for next episode. Thank you for listening. This was quite a memory lane journey. I appreciate you listening. I appreciate interacting. I just really appreciate you listening. I do hope this was entertaining or eye-opening, whatever you take from it or don't take from it. I just appreciate you listening. Thank you for being here with me today. I look forward to talking to you next week. Be sure to follow on Instagram, subscribe wherever you listen and hear my voice. And I will talk to you next time. Bye.